You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Dr. Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, Movable University, the Universal Tractioning System, Imaging Services, and Zingit Solutions. Let's hustle. Once again with Dr. Fred Schofield. It's very rare that I get to bring on guests for 2 Facebook Lives on one episode of Chiro Hustle podcast, but I thought we still left a lot of meat on the bone last time Dr. Fred and I went live, so I wanted to influence a little bit more with my mentor's message and the mentor to many chiropractors that are highly successful and credible in the marketplace that are making impacts in their communities. Before I jump in too far with Dr. Fred here, I'm going to say thank you to Pete Cavino and Asen Hansen and his team with Legacy Wealth Management for supporting free speech and chiropractic by supporting Jim Chester and the Chiro Hustle podcast. So thank you so much to the people that help keep free speech alive and well in chiropractic by supporting Chiro Hustle. And Dr. Fred, thanks for being with me again.
Well, thank you. I was going to say Dr. Jim. Just rolls off the tongue.
And you're down there in Phoenix, Arizona, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. And I'm in Grand Junction, which is in the Grand Valley on the western slope of Colorado, which I like to say where no one lives. So here we are, a couple juggernauts with our message. Let's confuse them a little bit and talk about some things that they might not know about. And one of those is Indaba. And that's something that you just had last weekend. What's the origin of that, and what does that give to your community?
Indaba was when Nelson Mandela, Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, and when he came out, he created this Indaba where people come together, the leaders, guys that are doing well. I mean, we're all going to save the ones that aren't doing well, but I like to hang around. They say success attracts success. So we get all our top performers and they come and they share what's working. If you've been in practice, I've been in practice 37 years now. And I'm still, like I said to you earlier, I'm booked out on Wednesday morning. And after 37 years, I mean, that creates some magic. And so what's improving? And we work on the science. The science is, chiropractic is a science. They always say of the subluxation, like subluxation is a thing. Oh, you're a thing. Well, you're not a thing. A subluxation is a complicated. We don't even get into the emotions of the subluxation. They just think it's a bone. God bless his soul, Bill Pettibon just passed away, one of the greatest chiropractors that ever lived. And he taught me spinal biomechanics and restoring and maintaining the integrity of the nervous system. Man, that is powerful language. Restoring your center of alignment from the distortions that the external concussion of forces applies on you. So we come together, they all bring their families. We do some fundamentals, Gavma in the mornings, and then I talk in the evenings, and we all go out to dinner. And what's so amazing is these families get along. They get along, little ones. And we talk about, chiropractors get sick, Jim, and they don't take care of themselves. And we work on that aspect of it too. So this Indaba, we were talking about what do you take? And I'm a Wuji man. And we bring the wise people in our profession together, which should happen at a higher level, but it doesn't because everybody's fighting with I'm better than you. And I go, Jim, after seeing 516 patients in a day, you see them one at a time, like everybody else. and you're just a little bit more mochichu. You're a little bit more focused. You don't talk about the weather. Trust me, bring your problems to Phoenix and we'll burn them up outside in the heat. And that's what happens at Indaba. We spent 4 days hanging out together. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the thing that I've really taken away from being around the rhinos. It's a very supportive group. You guys definitely teach a family style culture. And I think that's something that we've strayed away from with these singular leaders. We have these people that lead their tribe, but they lose connection.
Well, Jim, my first teacher told me that you have to enjoy what you do. But first of all, you got to be what you're going to do. You got to be successful. I was super successful at school. I mean, I didn't adjust my first newborn baby when I was in 9th quarter. That's first trimester of clinic. Nobody asked you to adjust a newborn baby an hour old if they don't have faith in you. And that was in first trimester of clinic. And I tell all our doctors, we have to study the science of human emotion, not psychology. We got it all backwards. I always show them this little law of concussion of forces. And it's the internal law. That's where we don't make the connection with our innate. BJ wrote a little booklet once called How Does Innate Contact Educated? Because you can't contact through your psychology. Your psychology is too small. How are you going to do it? There's no conscious fibers to your spleen. There's no conscious fibers to your spleen. So how are you going to, I feel good. Oh, that adjustment didn't work. Hey, innate's on the job at a deep frequency of your beingness at the cellular level. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed? Not too many cells, not too little cells. Hey, the gallbladder is producing bile as we speak. Thank God, innate's organized.
And, you touch on something there, Fred, and anybody knows that when you're, in any type of environment, whether it's at, a mall, a grocery store, a restaurant, you can see that person that isn't traveling on the right frequency. You can see those people that are subluxated. You can see those people that aren't connected with themselves.
Yeah. I was at the airport the other day, Jim, and I saw this guy and he had a badge and it said Tony. And I said, "Hey, Tony, how you doing?" He goes, "Do I know you?" I said, "We're all brothers, baby. We're all brothers and sisters." He goes, "Amen," and carried on. Because at that frequency, you meet people, you stumble into them, you bump into them. I call it the crossover. You got to come to a certain point in your life where you come to the junction, grand junction. You come to, that synchronicity right there. I live in Grand Junction because I'm at the junction of my life.
You know it.
And Carl Jung called it synchronicity. If you synchronize your internal frequency, now it's complicated. Create. You're going to hear a lot of this word. You've got to create. You can have great heart rate. You can have awesome heart rate variability. But if you don't have coherence is when the body is in balance. And what you eat is important. Mm-hmm. My goodness. Amen. There was a friend of ours who and he had a heart. He had a open heart surgery. My goodness. Mm-hmm. My Lord. And then some doctor somewhere sent him donuts. And I went, am I That's it. I'm sorry, man. Do not send me donuts when you've just had open heart surgery.
That's heavy, man. Yeah, it's a truth though. And that's the thing is we kind of shy away and we kind of want to, gloss over the things that are actually physically happening to people. And that's why I think chiropractic is so essential to digging into that core. What you say is that frequency, digging into that core of that subluxation. And that's why people that come to the chiropractor after 40 years of decline of life, and they have their lives like stacked up against them to where their back's against the wall, and now they come to the chiropractor and they expect you guys to get them out of that nasty mess that they put themselves
Well, of course,
into.
they think they can eat all the junk in the world, they can do all the sweets in the world, and there's no consequences. Well, let me just tell you, after 37 years, there's consequences. There's consequences. And when you tell patients there's consequences, then you give them, I don't focus, our office is only focused on the first day and the second day on subluxation. After that, it's all about the adjustment. And you never hear about the adjustment. They always focus on the subluxation, like doom and gloom. You're subluxated. Well, what part of the subluxation? Bill Peribon, that I mentioned earlier, taught me that bones don't move unless ligaments and muscles move them. And ligaments and muscles are controlled by neurology. Neurology. Autonomic nervous system runs your show, baby. And I'm still excited about the physiology. The brain cell of the body is the physiology. They got it wrong, the old timers. They used to say, this is the brain cell and this is the tissue cell. No, this is the brain cell. See, this is the brain cell, which is your autonomics. That's the brains of the body. It knows exactly what to do. It knows how to find balance. The tissue cell is your psychology. Sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. You can taste success. You can smell success. Don't tell me you can't. There's an aura about success.
You know, Fred, that was something that tapped into me over this past weekend at Tim Young's event at Focus, Oklahoma. People that I interviewed, they were all resonating and saying, wow, you've gotten better at what you're doing here. And I can feel this energy of protection around the space that we're standing on, you know, that I was giving them that like safety.
Well, Jim, you were thinking less in that left brain and you started to come out. See? We all have to get to that junction.
That grand junction.
That grand junction. And then the beauty is you came out, because I watched a few of your interviews to see the tone that I only listened to the tone of the interview. You're not going to teach me a whole bunch about chiropractic that I don't know. I haven't stopped studying, Jim. And in the land of the zone unknown, we call it. See, if you have a little circle, your diameter is little. And your diameter of the circle is what you know. And the circumference of the circle is what you don't know. Now, everybody says, oh, I'm going to go into the land of what I don't know. Really? Really? Well, you better be studying the Navy SEALs, because they do more recce. They do reconnaissance on everything before they go in. The chiropractor goes in and he thinks he's going to be a little cakewalk. Well, let me tell you, this thing after 37 years, you better stay on it. Facebook is not going to build your practice unless, Jim, unless you can produce results. See, if you're a fake, it's going to come out.
Always. And that's the thing.
Play the doom and gloom game. Go ahead, man. See how awesome you feel in the evening. See? The subluxation, I always get back to it. I got a little booklet that you've probably never seen, but it's of the old man, and it was called Majors and Minors. Majors and Minors. And so BJ wrote, get the idea, get the points, put them together. You first got to get the points, and then you got to put them together. And that's a science. You have to analyze where you're going in life. You have to actually sit back and say, okay, this is what I want to accomplish, and that's called a goal.
Yes.
But it also sets you direction, because you're not going to get to the goal. See, you're not going to get to the goal with up a few downs. There's going to be ups and downs. That's why I love watching the Tour de France, because the hills is where you see the bonking going on, and you see the collapse, is because they try and go straight up the hill. The sprinters can't do it. They can't do it. By the way, they don't have the muscle fiber, and that's genetic. You say, well, you're a born sprinter. Well, if you're a born sprinter, you're big and you've got quads like massive. I've been to the Tour de France. Those sprinters quads are like unbelievable. And then the little guys who can climb the mountain like cats, they're like mountain goats. Yeah, they can climb. See, in practice, after 37 years, I have to deal with the downs, because that's when people call you. When they started with such great enthusiasm, Jim, some of the greatest guys in chiropractic, and then where are they now?
Well, what you're saying.
Here's the three things I want the guys to take away.
Okay.
The first thing I want them to see with fresh eyes. The thing that clouds the eyes to see. Now remember, you have an insight and an outsight. I'm talking about insight. If you're cynical, you become a critic. But we know Teddy Roosevelt said what? He said, it's not the critic that counts. It's the guy in the arena that's fighting day to day. That's why my tone is a little different than the average chiropractor who's just, hi, how's the weather? Hot. Get it? Hot. If you don't like the heat, get out of Phoenix. Okay? So your eyes are clouded by judgment. It says in the books, judge not. But when you judge, I'm better than you. Well, I don't like your technique. You're judging, man.
What school you went to?
What school you went to? You know, I've trained 25,000 chiropractors. So it's not like I'm reinventing the wheel. But we haven't changed one thing. The voice of judgment must stop. Stop judging. Stop saying I'm better than anybody else. You're not. You haven't walked one day in their shoes. Not one. I'm an immigrant. And if you don't know anything about immigrants, we're smart, we're hungry, and we have cell phones. So and that stuff works.
And one of the things you touched on there, Fred, was the amount of people that aren't fighting, and they're fighting amongst themselves. But why do we need to fight more for each other?
You don't. You find your brothers and sisters and you move. I got some of the greatest female chiropractors, and I still can't understand why my wife doesn't talk more when she's a pharmacist who gets it. She gets it, and she's a pharmacist. Irene Gold and Susan are like this because they both studied on the other side of the mountain. That's how I look at it. I'm not going to dog. My finger tells me I'm not going to dog on the medical profession because I wouldn't have the finger. I would have died. I was in a coma for 3 days. Septicemia. My arm was this, was blown up like I saw it. Oh my God, when I woke up in the hospital, didn't even know how I got there. So the first one is voice of judgment. Stop it. Then the voice of criticism, which we covered. It clouds your vision. It clouds your vision to your vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Creative visual. Get a creative visual. I know because I studied with some of the greatest chiropractors that ever lived. Thompson, toughness. Oh man, I studied with some Vic Loughborough. You've never heard of Vic Loughborough. He wrote a book called The Psychiatric Principles. Oh my goodness. One of the giants. And so I've got some good headspace for how to practice. My father was a medical doctor. I used to go many times to his practice. And he would say, sit up, stand in the corner and listen. Well, after an hour of doing that, geez. I said, I'm not doing that. I asked my dad once, what's the most important thing for patients to listen to you? Agreement. Number one, agreement. Don't go tell them about the bloody immunization story. It's not important to them right now. That's down the road. You don't do that on the first visit. You don't go, oh, baby, we're going to make this thing happen. And the guy's sitting like this. That ain't happening. So the first one is the voice of judgment, the voice of criticism, and the voice of anxiety, which today is bigger than ever. Mm-hmm. If you can calm, and the voice of anxiety, Jim, you won't believe it. It's letting go of your goal. If you want to hit the goal, you let it go. Wow. That's massive. Ask for what you want. A-S-K. Seek. Look for it. It'll come. It'll come. A buddy will say, hey, do you want to read this book? You say, yeah. Must have something for you if he wouldn't offer it to you if there wasn't something in the book. Well, how does the book know? The book doesn't know. Your innate that is connected to the Holy Spirit of the greatest almighty power on planet. Well, there's no planet. It's the universe. And so the voice of anxiety has to do with letting go. And so I know you want to talk on some other things, but this is so important because it's your presence. It's your presence or your vibe, as we used to call it in the 60s. Hey, man, that's cool, man. That's far out, man. I used to love that. I thought America, that's what I was coming to. I wasn't coming to these, subluxation's going to kill you. Dude, the adjustment's going to realign me, and I'm going to express my life's potential. I'm on, I'm in. The guy who adjusted me, Roy McCullum and Steve Hillock, my greatest mentors, and Robin Dugmore, two of them have passed on already. They gave the power of the adjustment and hardly ever mentioned the subluxation. The subluxation is too complicated. It has misalignment. It has occlusion of an opening. It has tension, not pressure, tension on the autonomic nervous system and then interference. If the doctors interfere, how can interference adjust the subluxation? Impossible. Interference doesn't negate interference. So the doctor has to work on the internal frequency, create this vibration of love, create this, and not this fluffy hugging tree stuff, real stuff. Like I had two 90-year-olds this morning, and are you going to go in and then tell them, hey man, if we fix you up, we're going to put a curve in your neck, and we're going to fix you up, and you're going to live forever? Well, get in the back of the bus, pal. Just take a seat, calm down, go for a swim. No ways, man. You're going to give that guy the greatest experience of his life. He's been coming to me for 30 years. He's 93 years young. And he has, I said, what's your secret? He says, you got to have hobbies, Dr. Fred. He told me that this morning. You got to have hobbies. So I attract clients that are married and are happily married, but they work together. They work together. It's not always husband and wife. It may be of the same sex. We have a lot of those too. They have children. And we attract families that want to create functional families. Like my family's seriously functional. Because we only focus on the majors, not the minors. We're not worried about, you got minor problems. You live in America oh my goodness. Listen, I train the biggest chiropractors overseas. My guys are the biggest overseas. They rock this, and they only sell 12 visits at a time, so it's not like a huge package. So how come they get all these referrals? Well, because we study the science and then the art of the adjustment, which has to do with soft communication. What's the doctor thinking when his hands or her hands are on the patient? How do you dismiss a patient? How do you encourage the patients? They're hurting.
Well, you said something there, Fred. Sorry to cut in, but you said something that I wanted to touch on a little bit. And I do want to let people know out there that if you are watching this and you're finding value in this content, please go on and share this message right now with your personal page or with your group. Please, if you're finding value in this, also make a comment for us so we can discuss maybe something that you're feeling that your emotional intelligence is telling you to communicate with Dr. Fred and myself. And you did say something there, and there's a leader in the profession that I know that has been out there that's influencing a lot of people, and he started this movement a few years back called Eat Well, Move Well, Think Well, and it's James Chestnut.
Great
And
guy.
I think the thing that he did leave out that I try to influence people on is that the adjustment comes first. And that's where you were talking about earlier is the adjustments, the primary, the subluxation is a big word, but the adjustment is the first thing that we have to influence people with. And then as they get into the office, then they can learn from the doctor to think well, to move well, to eat well. But the first things first is the adjustment, man.
Of course it is. If you're listen, you can have the greatest food in the world. If you put it in a liquidizer and the liquidizer is unplugged, you're done. If it's not communicating in alignment, but I mean, alignment is there's cortical alignment, there's congruency above the atlas, you have limbic alignment, you have amygdala and hippocampus alignment, you have brainstem alignment, you have neuroplasticity. I mean, listen, we go on and on and on. Who teaches breathing? A fundamental. I don't hear any techniques. We're the only one, Schofield functional analysis, who focuses on the patient's breath. And as the patient is breathing, we synchronize with the patient's breath. And they will think you're God. They'll think, Dr. Fred, I don't know what you do, but you open my mind, my heart, and my consciousness, my will to live. See? That's the magic. Those other things are all important. Everything's important. Everything is everything. You leave one aspect out, like meditation. Well, we know the research. It was written in the 80s, Jim. The relaxation response has been around forever. Those who chill out. And by the way, this country doesn't know how to chill out.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Dr. Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, Movewell University, the Universal Tractioning System, Imaging Services, and Zingit Solutions. Let's hustle. You're right.
I'm sorry, man. I lived in Europe for 2 years. Italians, they can chill. South Africans can chill, man. We can chill.
Speaking of that, I interviewed Hugo Gibson at Focus this weekend.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's as you say, right on.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a pansy, but he's good. I'm going to get it back at it. He's going to come back at me after that. But I like it. He's a fantastic chiropractor, man.
So we're going to be charging hard here soon. We're going to be all going to Palmer Davenport for Palmer Homecoming. There's some things that we should probably share with our audience today so they kind of have the inside track on what's happening there. I know we got things going on Thursday night, Friday night, and then on Saturday afternoon we have some rugby. So I know we're not going to get to talk about everything we want to, but let's talk about primarily this philosophy discussion on the quad there at Palmer.
Yes, well, the first time Palmer College is allowing us ICA, it's through ICA, and we're going to talk on philosophy on Thursday night in the quad. And listen, Bill, if anybody doesn't have a place to visit with people, they should come to the quad and hang out with some philosophers. And then the Quad City is a fantastic place downtown. It's fantastic. I'll be at the Duck City Grill, and it's the best food in the whole Quad Cities. It's the number one restaurant in Iowa. It's fantastic. And then you go there on the Thursday night, go get all your CE credits, and then you come to the Pi Kappa Chi, and it's the last homecoming, and we do pie philosophy, where you get a whole bunch of speakers, similar to all these other groups. And it's the last time we're going to do it. The Pie House have been there since 1960. And it's just a lot of excited, you know, I hang around excitement. If you're not excited to build your business, then, you know, it's un-American. I think to have knowledge and not help your fellow man is, as far as I'm concerned, not on. And we have a lot of them here in Arizona. They go to these resorts, they retire into those resorts, and you never see them again. And they got all this information of how to become, some of them are multi-millionaires. And even in chiropractic, by the way, we have some serious wealthy chiropractors. So where are they? Why don't they share? Why are they always trying to, you know, get something and get somebody else to change? You don't get somebody else to change. You change yourself. And then you can adapt to everybody. And so I tell them to come to, if you're there Thursday and you don't have any mates, come to the ICA philosophy night. It's the first time. And I'm telling you, we want to get some people there. And Dr. George Curry will be there. Dr. Rob Sinnott will be there. And it's the first time in a long time, Jim, as you know, that we've been allowed on campus, the philosophy part. But you know what's interesting is most of us, if you go back to our practices, we got more science going on in our practices. We talk about the craniosacral meningeal pump. You say, what's that? Well, it's part of the Schofield functional analysis, but it's a little deeper and moves into the breath. Because have you noticed, no breathing, no patience. You know, that's a fundamental in our office. No breathing, no patience. Most important thing, if a patient upsets you, what do? You go. If somebody criticizes you, what do? What am I going to do if somebody criticizes me and say, hey, Freddie Schofield, I don't like it? And I go, you've got the issue. This is who I am. I haven't changed, Jim. You know me. You've known me for a long time. They used to call me Squeaky. Because I squeaked. And you learn on the input. See, the input's the afferent side of this equation of the physiology is the brains. That's the brain cell. You don't run your life. You don't. You tell it where to go, and the reticular formation will come and get it to you. And that's where we have the sacred words of power. Yep, the affirmations. This is the software of my life.
Yeah, you got to download it daily. And
daily,
I'm going to go ahead and share mine if that's okay. I am learning on a daily basis. I love attracting new patients. I am like a giant magnet attracting new patients. And I'm not a chiropractor, and I still attract new patients.
Sure you do.
When I do something great, I celebrate and congratulate myself. I celebrate when I achieve my goals.
Oh, my goodness.
That's massive there.
I remember when we did 25 a week, Jim, and I thought I'm a quarter way to the goal. I was 100. And we did 25, and my mom always taught me, Freddie, you never know when the wins in life come from, so celebrate every win.
Mm-hmm. So this one cuts right into that. Is I experience life as a celebration and as an opportunity to grow. And that's what we're going to be doing at Palmer Homecoming, that Thursday night, that Friday night, and watching some rugby on Saturday afternoon. And then the last one on here is infinite supply is attracted to me.
Now, infinite supply. There is no lack in the universe. There is no lack in the universe. There's no lack of oxygen.
There's definitely no lack of money. Something I found out over the weekend is in circulation, there's more $100 bills in circulation than $1 bills.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the game's on. That dollar is still the most powerful thing on the planet. We have it, and I'm chiropractic. I'm through and through. I'm a chiropractor. That's all I wanted to be. That's all I've wanted to be. My goal is to run a successful practice. I have multiple different businesses within that practice, but the adjustment is the pinnacle, because they asked BJ, who was super successful, Jim, if people knew he owned the television rights west of the Mississippi. Hello. You find a chiropractor who owns one television station. He owned two, and radio stations. I mean, he was a genius. His wife, by the way, his wife ran the finances. I know. I used to work for Agnes Palmer. I was her garden boy.
Well, that's
my mate Wayne Skilton. He's in Australia. We'll see if he gets a little bit of this podcast. He and I do any jobs for anything. We'd babysit, whatever it took.
Honestly, that's why I think, that I'm in this position to share the story of chiropractic with people, because I took the job that no one else wanted. And right. I took that job that no one else wanted. I carried the bags, I cleaned the toilets, I dusted, I mopped, I did all the janitorial work that comes with growing character.
I've been there. I was a janitor at Palmer College. There was one other famous janitor at Palmer College. You know who that was?
Harvey?
Yeah, Harvey. And he was African American, and so am I.
At Chiro Sushi this year, Fred, I won the Distinguished Harvey Award, which is the Advocacy of the Year Award in chiropractic.
Fantastic. You deserve it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just going to keep charging.
Yeah, keep doing it, man. From the crossroads of the universe in Grand Junction, Colorado. That's the way you got to do it. So our trainers, they work, Jim, on the afferent side of life. Afferent is the input into the autonomic nervous system through sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. For instance, if you read an affirmation, but your ear doesn't hear it, it don't work as well, because the vagus nerve controls all of that. Have you ever lost your keys and you're looking for your keys? Where the hell are my keys? They're right here in front of you, but you can't see them. That's the vagus nerve. We use the mala beads to count.
Yeah, that's the other word. The other word that people aren't accustomed to, like Indaba. Now it's mala. What is the mala, and why does that count matter?
Well, I wrote a little blog on the beads. There's 108 beads, of beautiful beads, by the way. Oh my goodness, our beads are just sensational. Look how beautiful they look. You just want to touch them. In fact, the little kids, when I teach them how to meditate by just doing this, and they all reach out, but they have to sit on the floor to touch them. And the mother goes, "How did you do that, Dr. Fred? How did you do that? I can't get that little kid to sit down." I said, "He wants the beads, honey. And if he wants something, you're just telling him, sit down." You can shout all you want. Now, the mala beads, there's 108 in the mala beads. Now, they're not any religion. In every religion, there are prayer beads, because the fingers actually do the praying. Your fingers do the praying. In Tai Chi, as a Taoist, I've been studying Taoism for a long time now, because our philosophy is an internal martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
There's an internal kingdom within you. That's what fascinates. Get the big idea on the inside. Yo, dude, don't talk about it. Get it. If you had it, you wouldn't have to talk about it.
I get it,
now,
man.
The beads give you, by the way, the Catholic beads are 54. So there's 54, 5 and 4 is 9. There's 108 on the mala beads. That's 108. 1 and 8 is 9. Oh, by the way, just for some crazy numbers, Frederick, my name, has 9 letters in it. My rugby number is number 9. My last name has 9 numbers. I was born on the 27th. 2 and 7 is 9. In the year of 54, 5 and 4 is 9. I mean, just my 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 office, all the numbers add up to 9. 43. 4 and 3 is 7. 2. 4, 3, 2. 40, no, it's 41, 31. 41, 4 and 1 is 5, 3 and 1 is 4, 9. 41, 31. You know, you don't type your numbers in anymore. I even forgot my phone number the other day. So going back to the mala beads, you can't count 108 beads. You can't count 108 times and say your affirmations at the same time. You'll start to stumble around. So this is the easiest way. We believe that families that pray together stay together. We believe that if you say grace over your food, it changes the molecular component of the food. They know it does with water. We know it does if you put your hands on somebody. We know that works from way back. We know that your hands move and your hands do the. We know that out of that thorn comes the light of the frequency of the universe. You are a light being. If we put you in a little vacuum packed and spun you up, and you'd come to, your matter would come to like a thimble. I don't know who made these decisions, Jim. It's a little bit too advanced for me. I just friggin' know that patients love my adjustment because it makes them feel, and they love the spiraling. We do spiraling of energy coming down to the shushumna. Don't worry about it. It's just energy that spirals up and down the spine through the breath. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, it gives us everything to study, and the concussion of doing these mala beads, if they could just say, prosperity I am. Prosperity I am. If they're going through some health issues, they take them out and they say, health I am. Health I am. And you do that 108 times. And it turns on the inner. You do it the first time, Jim, be honest, don't start. You got to do it for as many beads as are on here. So it's 108 beads. Our problem with success today is there's too much damn thinking going on. And so it's centralized with a few guys who take action. Now, I've told guys they do the mala beads and do it for 7, on the best number would be 9 years. 3 times a day for 9 years. Your life will never be the same.
I don't disagree with you. And the first thing that you like to do with somebody is get in agreement with them. And I think that, as we travel this juncture together from, our alignment of friendship and unity, as, we've taken each other into my life into yours and your life into mine. And now we're making positive influence with people. The same thing that BJ would be doing right now. If he had access to this Facebook Live game, he would be dominating it and he'd be tapped in. He'd realize that every day was like the stock market. And the more that you're paying attention to where people are and putting information to them, they're going to eventually catch on to your wave of your influence, which is the social influence. And that's the stock market we're playing today. Today, we're playing a game that is an up and down on a day-to-day basis. We're in the futures of information for chiropractic. And that's the part where we're hammering that nail every damn day.
Jim, our office is based on the innate technology of health. Now, how this frequency, because frequencies have intelligence. So in the Second World War, most people don't know this, but a lot of chiropractors were really, they were fundamental. They were like farm boys, and farm boys know machinery. They know how to fix it. And so how do you think Clay Thompson and Gonstead came up with these incredible techniques?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were so practical.
Mm-hmm.
They were so I want to say fundamental. They weren't esoteric. Those guys had a hard time. Oh, yeah, can you feel the wave and all this? Okay, that's cool. But I'm blue-collar America, baby. I'm blue-collar. And we've got the technology, Jim, that if Palmer College knew that they're a technological company, it would change the whole face of the planet. You know what? They can't fight us anymore. They can't. They tried it and they lost. In 1987, we beat them because we are not practicing medicine without a license.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Fred. If the schools are damn smart, they'd be going Facebook Live 3 times a day like I do. And that's why I'm going to be getting myself a Chiro Hustle student rep at all the colleges. And they're going to be sharing our content. Once they pass a satisfactory approval from me, then I give them the equipment, the microphone, the light, and the camera. And then I train them on how to become influencers as students for that university, sharing our message and then creating their own message.
Brilliant. Jim, do it.
That's what we're on right now.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you that I don't see any of them on anything. They have lost touch with reality. I'm not knocking them. It's just because they don't have to perform in the street. BJ already did the work for them.
Yeah, man. I'm
telling you, this technology, and my children are chiropractors, 2 of the 3. And they're unbelievable chiropractors. They got, them. They're just fantastic human beings. And, our clients, I don't even call them clients because it's just, I'm like their father figure, basically.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you have the bandwidth to manage such high caliber individuals day to day?
Well, you get them off their BS. You want to build a company? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going on holiday. I don't have any money, but I'm going on holiday to Hawaii for a week. Serious? You got to be kidding me. You're never going to build your business doing that. And I see all these chiropractors who their dream is not to practice. My dream is to practice. If they got the satisfaction that I receive from all my patients, they wouldn't leave their practice. Yes, you have to you have to take off, but to spray Facebook with all this stuff, why don't you show me some patients? I've taken care of Super Bowl champs. I've taken care of LPGA champions. I've taken care of professional Major League Baseball. I don't flash it all over the place. I just get on with the job because, the man in the street, he don't care if I'm a Super Bowl champion. Great. I'm a plumber. That's what I deal with. In fact, I like the plumbers. They got more money.
and they got work ethic and they wake up before the sun comes up.
And I like the air conditioners in Arizona more than anybody. They get free care in my office, brother. And if chiropractors just went in and served, Jim, without judging, this value thing, man, do your best and give the best. And that's all you can do. And when you've done the best, then you are the best. And let the chips be where they are. And they go, well, patients have to value care. No, you have to value your office. See, I'm hardcore, man. I'm in this game. And I always say, you have an overhead? No. Well, when you have one, give me a call. Until that, you're just fighting little games. Some of the guys, the forces that be may not like my enthusiasm, but I'm telling you, I'm not getting off it because I am who I am since day one. And I prefer to have a good time because we're not here for a long time. So,
hell yeah.
And so let's enjoy every day and let's enjoy every moment. Take out your mala beads. Give thanks to the great wisdom, the great universe. Take out your affirmations and say your affirmations over and over and give yourself about 9 years and you will transform your life. Your practice will be transformed because the law Now, this is a law that if you sync with the frequency, it will bring it to you, the reticular activating system. Now, there's an afferent reticular activating system that will bring, if the patient says, one of the most important questions, do you want to be healthy? Do you want to feel healthy? And they go, yes. The door's open. Now's the door's open. Now you're available. If you have a problem with the patient, I'm telling you, it's your problem because you didn't ask the question, and I guarantee they go, well, it's money. Okay. That could be true. That could be true. That could be true. But we have a cooperative fee schedule, so we don't worry about things like that. That's minor. See? Because if you get your double digits a week, it's game on.
We have Danny Psaltis just joined us. I
saw that.
I had time to join him over in Fiji. That kid is on fire. An amazing human being.
Fantastic young man. Going to be an incredible doctor.
Oh man, he's already right on with his intelligence. He's grown up in that chiropractic society.
You know, I've known him since he was a baby. He ain't no baby anymore. If he is, he's a big baby. But he's got the heart, which is just, that comes from we know his father, but it comes from his mother, She's got one of the most beautiful human beings around. And, the most important thing is to sit, these folks that are listening, they sit and they calm down. See, there's different forms of listening. We didn't even get into that today, but there's different forms of listening. Some people in the beginning, Jim, cannot listen to the inner voice. They think that the psychology that is just negative and just, boom, everything's wrong with the planet. Because turn off the TV, turn it off.
No shit.
The ads, you pre-record anything. The most successful people, that means 100,000 or more a year profit, watch less than 7 hours a week in TV.
I haven't owned a television, Fred, for 7 years.
You haven't missed anything, Jim. If they ask me what's going on in the world, I'll tell you. There was some murder somewhere. There was somebody ripped off somebody. Somebody knocked up somebody. Somebody
divorced somebody.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the same stuff. It's the same.
Different characters.
The man in the arena that count, not the critic. If you're worried about your critic, take out your mala beads, get your affirmations out, and start the program until the critics don't affect you anymore.
And journal your goals and stick to them.
Well, you've got to have the 9-year plan. You're not going to do this in a weekend. I can tell you that. If you want to go to a weekend seminar, go, oh man, I found the miracle. Well, you know what? Call me in 18 months. We'll still see if you're still a miracle. Because enthusiasm, unless you have a bath, enthusiasm's like a bath. Sorry, but not motivation.
Well, we're coming up on the edge here, Fred. I know that we are going to try to do this in 20 minutes. We're going on an hour.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm going to do a quick roll call and say thank you to everybody that's commented. Danny Psaltis, thank you for joining us. Dave Lippert, thank you. Lippert, possibly, thank you for joining. Ethan Danberg says this live stream just revved up my entire day. And I'm going to comment to you guys, if you guys seen massive value in this and you think that what Chiro Hustle is doing and our team of influencers are doing, accomplishing together, arms joined, please share this right now because people need to hear what Dr. Fred and I discussed over this past hour. Even if they tune in for 5 minutes, they're going to take something away that's going to give them some influence to maybe feel like Ethan did and feel like this Facebook Live is on fire. And Zach Lujan says these guys are spitting fire. Zach Lujan once again with fire symbols. Tara Hogan, what an unsung hero. What a marvelous human being. I've known her for over 10 years now. Their little girl, Cora, is 10 now. I remember Cora when she was just a little baby in the womb. Before Tara had little or before Tara had little Cora. So thank you, Tara, for being on with us. Jeff Arnell, DC, he's big in the DE camp. He says, if you get a chance, I believe Dr. Schofield is the doctor with those ANS business cards. Maybe you can ask if where they are available from.
They can go to mochichu.com and they can order them there. They can go to, they can call 800-554-3260. I think our website's in tricky, but if it doesn't, he can call my cell phone at 602-317-1673. You put all that stuff up there, Jim.
Yeah, he wants to have those business cards because he likes that they have that chart on there on the back side. And then we have Philip Roger, who is a young DC out there, and Alok Trivedi, and Dana Marie and Irvin QHS.
Hey!
Yeah,
she's
right.
Fired up, man.
Yeah, man. We got some good love out there, and thank you, Ethan, for sharing. And if you guys are out there and you're watching this and you do see value in this, please share and tag both of us on here. Tara, thank you so much. There's nothing greater in the social media realm. I'm going to tell you the level of priority, okay? First thing you do is you share. Second thing you do is you comment. Third thing you do is you like. Likes go unseen except for to Fred and I. We appreciate that. But when you share the content, that's when we start penetrating your sphere of influence, and that's when our message gets to a broader audience. If we just let this rest in the stream that we post this on, then it has limited legs. But if you guys believe in what we say and what we share on a day-to-day basis, please be the advocate for the message of chiropractic. And apathy gets you one thing, and that's not what we want. So please be supportive of what we do. Dr. Fred, thank you for joining me today on the Chiro Hustle live stream. And I just want to say thank you once again to everybody that's joined us today from the bottom of our hearts. I'm just a guy from Davenport, Iowa, right over on this side. It's over here. Davenport, Iowa's there. Just a guy from Iowa that loves his mom. And I just keep on fighting for the future of chiropractic to keep free speech alive and well in this beautiful profession. And I just want to say thank you to Legacy Wealth Management for sponsoring and supporting the Chiro Hustle podcast and the media company that we are becoming. If you didn't know, now you know. And I'm just going to close out and say thank you so much, Dr. Fred. You guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. Yeah, show that rhino. Keep hustling, everybody. Keep on charging, and keep on telling the story. Thanks, Fred.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.